For over a year, I was on Upwork, buying connects, sending proposal, doing everything possible to land a client. But I didn't land any single client on Upwork. But then again, 6 months ago, I decided to do something different. I decided to change my strategy and try new things. And since then, I have worked with multiple clients on Upwork, and I've also earned the Rising Talent badge because I'm a beginner, of course. And I'm looking forward towards getting my top rated badge on Upwork. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly what changed, exactly what I did, and how everything started working out for me on Upwork, and also how you can do the same. Hi everyone, my name is Ada Victoria Wali and I am an AI automation expert, and I help business owners, founders, coaches create automations that save them time. And over here in this channel, I create automation content. I also create content that help freelancers, and I'm also a mom of two, and I also create content related to motherhood. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and turn on your post notification. I post videos every Tuesday, valuable videos that you're going to learn a lot, and you don't want to miss this. So let me give you a backstory of how I actually went into tech. Prior to me going into tech, I was a wig stylist. I've already said that sometimes on my LinkedIn. I used to make wigs for people and revamp and all this. Anything that is related to wig making, I used to do it. So ending 2024, I decided I was going to go into tech. I was going to try something new because I've been doing wig related stuff for a while, almost more than 4 or 5 years. I said I wanted to go into tech. So first of all, I paid for a data entry course. I started learning data entry ending of December, and that was the same period I started saving up for my first laptop I got. So I started learning because I wanted to learn something that I wanted to learn something very basic that would give me a step ahead into tech. So I didn't just start tech and started doing automation. No, I wanted to just something that would give me more of like something that would just give me a step, tell me what's up, how it's going before I started learning something very big. So I started with data entry. So I learned after learning 2024, 2025, I started looking for clients. It wasn't really easy. So during that period, I learned another course. I learned another skill, which was Airbnb, a short-term rental course. It has to do with being a visual assistant for Airbnb and the rest. So I learned that, and they also taught us general visual assistant skill. So I learned that during early 2025. So I continued learning that, and that was actually it was that period I was learning. I started hearing of Upwork. I didn't really know what Upwork is. I started hearing of Upwork. So after we're done learning, they taught us how to open an Upwork account and how to optimize it and the rest. Then after learning immediately, I finished learning by I think February or January. It wasn't really I think a 1 month class. So after learning, I opened an Upwork account and then we started looking for clients. It wasn't easy at all. Upwork is a jungle. It wasn't really easy. I know how much I've spent on connects, buying connects I was still doing my wig business then. So almost like all my profits from my wig business was going into buying connects. Still yet, nothing was coming forth. I was sending proposal on Upwork. There's nothing I wasn't doing. I was sending proposal, buying connect. Still yet, it wasn't working for me. The whole of last year, nothing was working. I was so frustrated. I gave up. In fact, I gave up so many times. I abandoned the account. Then I came back again. Especially when I see that someone have gotten a job, immediately I'll go and dust it back and then I'll go back again, back on it. But it wasn't working. But right now, I understand why it wasn't working for me. I just understand why that wasn't working. I didn't really optimize my profile very well. I was sending generic proposal that maybe 80% of freelancers were sending. There was no strategy, nothing. I was just doing what everyone was doing. And that was why it wasn't working. So there was actually like a little breakthrough I saw on Upwork. Was it ending last year? That was like October. I got 2 interviews. I was shocked. Mind you, all this while I was um all this while I was submitting proposal. I haven't learned automation then. No. My Upwork profile was about short-term rental. It was actually Airbnb assistant. Yeah, Airbnb virtual assistant. So I haven't learned automation then. So just Airbnb stuff and the rest. So towards that October, I landed 2 interviews. One from the UK, one from the US. I was shocked. I was like, wow, me interview after all these months. But then again, it didn't even work out. After the interview, for where I didn't get the job. Oh, I was so bad. I went back to depressed mode. I was so depressed. Like, this thing is not working for me. Why? What is going on? What is happening? It wasn't working for me. So then, was it, I started learning automation towards the end of 2024. Sorry, 2025. I started learning automation. Was it September? Then after learning automation, I made up my mind that I was going to wipe out everything on my Upwork and I was going to change it to automation. I remember asking my coach then if I should do it, my automation coach, if I should wipe out everything and just change it to automation. She was like, I should still keep my Airbnb profile and maybe use automation as another account. That was when we still have the specialized profile. You know, now there's nothing like specialized profile again on Upwork. So I wasn't really getting it. I was like, no, I just want to change. I'm tired. I've been doing this for months. And don't get me wrong, go. Many people were making money on Airbnb. I'm telling you the truth. So many of my colleagues then were making cool money from Upwork as an Airbnb visual assistant. But maybe it wasn't for me, you know. And I'm so glad that I actually detected early enough. You know, I'm glad I didn't really get stuck for like years on it and before I could, you know, change the career and everything. I said, no, I was going to wipe out everything. I don't want to do anything concerning Airbnb visual assistant, also short-term rental. I just want to focus on this automation because I've actually got interest in it and it's actually something that I love doing. So one day I woke up, I deleted everything, both the portfolio. Oh God, you need to see the portfolio I created for my Airbnb visual assistant. I created it very well. I designed it. I took time to create my portfolio for Airbnb visual assistant. It has everything. I woke up that day and I deleted everything, deleted my profile, my title, my bio, my portfolio. I said, I'm going to change it to automation. And then I said a short prayer. I said, God, I'm changing this. And I know this thing I'm changing is going to work for me. And that's one thing with me. Once I made a decision, I'm going to take it. I will do that thing I want to do that I said I was going to. I'm going to do it, you know, without even looking back. So I wipe it off and then I change it to automation. Did this, I did this, was it I think it was September or November, or I think November. Yeah, I wiped out everything, then I changed it. So I changed that on Upwork and then I started doing automation. So I changed everything about my Airbnb visual assistant profile on Upwork to automation ending of 2025. And then by January 2026 of this year, I decided to optimize my profile very well. Now, I'm not an Upwork coach. Please, whatever I'm going to say in this video is actually what's working for me. I'm not an Upwork coach, please, okay? I decided to optimize my profile. I started to do portfolios that has to do with automation contents, and I now bought Connects. Then I started applying for jobs. And on February 1st, I got my first job on Upwork. Prior to that, I've told you guys I got my first automation job on TikTok. If you haven't watched that video, please go and watch it. Then after I got my first job on TikTok on automation, I got my second one, which was my first job on LinkedIn, still automation for a Nigerian brand. After that, my first job on Upwork, I got that first job February 1st. I was so happy. Like so happy I got that job on Upwork. And within a month and some weeks, I got the Rising Talent batch. I haven't gotten my top rated, but I know I'll soon get that by God's grace. So let me break down the clients that actually made this happen so far, because I feel like when you hear about the projects, you know the kind of things you should expect out there, especially as a beginner freelancer or a beginner automation specialist. So for my first clients, which I told you I got February 1st, the project I worked on was building a cognito form for her family reunion. And now I haven't really worked with cognito form before. The forms we were taught was Google form, Airtable form, Money.com form. I haven't even heard of cognito form before. But immediately I saw the job post, I made my researches immediately. I made my researches, and that's one thing I tell people is that automation has there are different apps or software, let's say software that are used for automation. Apart from the popular one that you know, which has Zapier Make, AirtableMoney.com, there are other ones, very many. But one thing you should know is that their interface and what they do is very similar. So if you know these popular ones, it will be very easy for you to actually know how to, you know, work with others. So I went straight up to doing researches, and I got some insights on what the cognito form is and how to do it. Immediately I did a demo. That is one of the things that even got me that job. Immediately I did a demo of of the family reunion she wants. I did a demo of it, and ASAP. I sent it with my proposal ASAP. And when she saw it, she was so happy that yes, this was what she wanted. That is just similar, just to add little things. And that was how I got that my first job on Upwork with $0 in zero. One thing you should take from this first client is that be very proactive. So be very proactive, be smart, and be different. Okay. So my second client was a recruitment agency that needed a workspace in Airtable to be able to be managing everything that has to do with their recruitment agency. So I worked on that project. That was the first real task I know I did. And then I know that yes, I started doing automation projects. You know, it wasn't really that complex, but it has a lot of things I had to put in place. So it involves creating a central Airtable base where they handle candidates that they reach out to, their recruitment agency, and managing these candidates, sending automated emails, preventing duplications and all the rest. So that was the second client I worked with on Upwork. But I experienced something from this client, and I think I'll be making a video on that. I didn't really have a good experience with this client. I'll be making a video on that on my next video. In fact, I was almost scammed, but God came true for me from this client. And trust me, you don't want to miss my next video. I'm going to be talking about it. So the third client wanted me to build a data entry interface for them in software, and their data was in Airtable. So that was my third client on Upwork. Now the fourth client, and the one I'm currently working on, was a UK staffing agency. So they wanted me to build a full-blown candidate onboarding automation for them using Airtable and Zapier. And I did that automation for them. In fact, that's the most, out of all the clients I've worked with, that's the most interesting and kind-hearted client I've worked with. So, and up to now, after doing the project for this my client, he gave me a very beautiful review on Upwork and a 5-star review. And he also gave me more projects to work on. I'm currently still working with him on Upwork. So what actually changed for me? Like, what was now the difference between the version of me now and the version of me last year that couldn't get a client, even one? I'm going to be telling you now. Number one, I optimize my profile very well. I know you used to hear, you've heard, or you normally hear optimize your profile, yes, please optimize your profile. I optimize my profile on Upwork very well. I took my time to optimize my profile on Upwork. I really took my time. Now, let me tell you a lot of things that most of you don't know. Now, your profile on Upwork is like a shop. It's a shop, yes, and you're selling your services. And if you don't take care of your shop, you don't arrange your things in your shop that you're selling very well, no clients will come to patronize you. No customer will come and buy something in an unkept shop or where the things are so scattered on the shelf and all the rest. This one is not in one place. No clients will come or no customer will come and patronize you. And that is how it is on Upwork. If you don't optimize your profile very well, trust me, no client is going to hire you. Your profile is not going to rank. Nothing. You might even send proposal, and when the clients go through your profile and they are not getting anything, they're not seeing anything that they want, they're not going to hire you. Make sure your profile is speaking, has the solutions, not about you. Okay, it's not when you go to optimize your profile, you'll be saying, okay, I have 10 years of this, and no. It's not about you, it's about the clients. So make sure when you're optimizing your profile, you talk about the solutions you're going to provide for these clients, and more especially what you've done for other clients. Okay, if possible, include it. You've done this for this client, and when you did this for this client, what happens is that put metrics. Advise you add a metrics. Let's say for example, if you're not into automation, it's okay, I automated a client onboarding for I did a client onboarding automation for a client, and it saves him 60. Okay, let's say it saves him 10 hours a week. It saves, all those things are metrics. So make sure you add them to your profile. Number two, I stopped sending generic proposal. Oh, that was one of the things I was always doing last year. I stopped sending it. Now, before I send a proposal, I make sure I read through the client's job post, understand what that client really wants, and craft a very good proposal for that client. Now, inside your proposal, make sure you're telling the client what you're going to do for them. Acknowledge the fact that you have read that their job description, and tell them what you're going to do for them. How are you going to solve that problem that they have? Make sure you include it. Okay. And number three, I started before I even felt ready. When I got my first job, and the first job was Cognito Form, I haven't worked on anything that is related to Cognito Form. I didn't even know about it. You understand? But quickly I went into action. I made my researches. And immediately I did a demo and I sent to this client. So I started even before I felt ready. I didn't say cognito form and then relax. Oh, I've not worked on cognito form before. Please, which one is cognito form? Please. But I know that I've done something related to other forms. I've worked with Typeform, I've worked with Airtable form, Monday.com form. So what will be special about the cognito form? Do you understand? So I started before I felt ready. I went into action, and that is what I also want you to do. So before I close, here are 3 biggest lessons I have learned that has gotten me from not being hired last year to working with multiple clients this year. Lesson 1, your profile is everything. Fix it before you send the next proposal. Don't think that, okay, no, it's all about proposal, it's all about this. No, haven't you heard that there are some freelancers that don't send proposal and clients reach out to them, send them a direct DM, invite them to job? How do you think they get invited to job, and how do you think they get a direct message? Because their profile are optimized. That is why they get those privileges. So before you send that next proposal, make sure you have thoroughly optimized your Upwork profile. Lesson 2, personalize every single proposal before you send it out. Don't just see a job description. Make sure you read it. Very important though. Make sure you read every job description before you send a proposal. After reading it, make sure you personalize it. Okay, make sure you talk about the job. Make sure you talk about how you're going to do it for the client, and make sure you end with a strong CTA. Now, let me give you an example of a strong CTA that you can end with. Instead of ending with looking forward to hearing from you, why not end with, are you available for a 20-minute call this week? Do you see? It's more, and it will prompt the client to reply to you. Do you get? So make sure from henceforth, stop sending those generic proposal. Make sure you always personalize your proposal before you send it out. Lesson 3, start before you are ready. Don't wait till you are perfect. Don't wait till you know everything in automation, or if you're a visual assistant, you know everything in visual assistant before you start. No, start. Just do something. Start it, okay? Send a proposal, open the Upwork account, send that proposal, buy Connect and send that proposal. Don't come and start looking, oh, I'm a beginner, oh, how am I going to start? Oh, everybody's getting Upwork jobs. Oh, who's going to listen to me on Upwork? I'm just starting. No, don't say that. Start immediately. Start now. Time waits for no one. If you're a freelancer and you're trying to make Upwork work for you, you haven't gotten a job yet, I hope this video showed you that it is possible for you to land a client on Upwork. Like sometimes I sit down and I get emotional. Like I know what I went through last year on Upwork. I spend a whole lot of money on Connect. Seriously. And I'm just like, wow. I check my profile and I'm like, wow, me get this review, me, and from Upwork, me. I keep asking myself, like, me, so surprised. And it can also be you. It can also be you. You just need to stop doing what others are doing. You need to be unique. You need to think outside of the box. You need to be strategic. Okay? It took me over a year of not earning anything or getting any clients on Upwork to me changing the way I do things on Upwork. So if this video was very valuable to you and you learned something, I want you to give this video a thumbs up. I want you to share this video. I want you to subscribe. Please subscribe to this video and I will see you in my next one. Till then, bye-bye.